Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do my what I added to Goodreads in November. It is so late. We're already like in the first week of December, but yeah, here we are. There is a lot of books. I'm gonna skip the ones I already read because I have read a few. The first one is The Warsaw Sisters by Amanda Barrett. Recommended. I heard about it from Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction, and I already read it, so we're gonna breeze right past that. Then I have A Million Little Choices by Tamara Alexander. I also heard about this one from Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. This was released November 7th. Sometimes secrets just won't stay hidden. Okay. Claire Powell's life is turned upside down when her beloved husband admits to a near affair. But when Stephen accepts a partnership with an Atlanta law firm without consulting her and buys a historic Southern home sight unseen, it pushes their already fractured marriage to the breaking point. Claire's world spirals, and she soon finds herself in a marriage she no longer wants, in a house she never asked for. In 1863, Charlotte Thursman, pregnant and trapped in a marriage to an abusive husband, struggles to protect her unborn child and the enslaved members of her household. Desperate, she's determined to right the evils her husband and others like him commit. But how can one woman put an end to such injustice, especially if her husband makes good on his threat to kill her? Both Claire and Charlotte discover truths about themselves they never realized, along with the secrets long hidden that told the power to bring God's restoration if only they choose to let it. Sounds really interesting, actually. Dual timeline, and yeah, sounds like a good one. Next, I have City People by Elizabeth Topp. I heard about this one from Sarah from the Reading Through Life podcast. When beautiful and successful Susan Harris jumps from the roof of her apartment building, she sets a tremor through her New York City mothers group that forces them all to look at one another with new cynicism. How could this have happened right under their noses to one of them? Between her death and the harrowing private school admissions season on the horizon, these women are forced to explore the hard truths about themselves. Vic, a single mom with literary aspirations, is shocked and confused by the unexpected death of her best friend. I cannot say this name. Bhavuna, a makeup executive, tries to process Susan's death while sacrificing everything to get her son into the school of his dreams. Kara's sister died by suicide years earlier, so she's been down this road before, or so it seems. Penelope and Amy are navigating a business deal when Susan dies, but is it worth the toll on their families? And how will Candace, battling cancer, come to terms with Susan's death? For these women, the loss of a fellow mother forces them to re-examine who they really are, while the future of their children hang in the balance. Sounds interesting. It actually sounds kind of like a book that Chloe from Always Booked would like. It's like domestic suspense, sort of. So yeah, anyway. Then I have Something Close to Magic by Emma Mills. This was on the Currently Reading Podcast Indie Press list. A baker's apprentice reluctantly embarks on an adventure full of magic, new friendships, and a prince in distress in this delightfully romantic young adult fantasy. Okay. It's not all sugar and spice at Basil's Bakery, where a 17-year-old Orally is an overworked, underappreciated apprentice. Still, the job offers stability, which no-nonsense Orally values highly, so she keeps her head down and doesn't dare dream big, until a stranger walks in and hands her a set of seeking stones. In a country where seeking was old-fashioned even before magic went out of style, it's a rare skill, but Orally has it. The stranger, who turns out to be a remarkably bothersome bounty hunter named Ileana, asks for Orly's help rescuing someone from the dangerous underwoods, which sounds suspiciously like an adventure. When the someone turns out to be Prince hapless, the charming but aptly named Prince, Orly's careful life is upended. Suddenly, she finds herself on a quest filled with magic portals, a troll older than many trees and a few rocks, and dangerous palace intrigue. Even more dangerous are the feelings she's starting to have for Hapless. The more time Orly spends with him, the less she can stand the thought of going back to her solitary but dependable life at the bakery. Must she choose between losing her apprenticeship or her heart? Sounds like a fairy tale type of story, so I'm in. Next, we have Dolls of Our Lives. Why We Can't Quit American Girl. This is, I guess, I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I just bought it because I listened to the Dolls of Our Lives podcast, and they wrote a book, so I'm all in. Sounds like there's a story behind American Girl, so I'm interested. Then I have From Anna by Jean Little. I heard about this one through somebody who commented on one of my videos. It was the video I did about books that feature visually impaired characters. It was just a random commenter. I cannot remember this person's name. But yeah, this is a middle grade book from Anna. Moving is never easy, especially when you're a little 9-year-old girl moving from the tumult of living in Nazi Germany to Canada in the 1930s. And if you're clumsy and your older brothers and sisters all call you Awkward Anna as well, it's even worse. Okay. When it's discovered that Anna needs glasses and that her clumsiness is actually the result of being visually impaired, Anna's life changes completely. Suddenly, her brothers and sisters see Anna in a new light and try to make amends for being unkind. And then, Listen for the Singing is the next one. They look like old books, so who knows? Could be interesting. Then I have The Sisters of Seaview by Julie Clausen. I heard about this one from both Amanda from Book Lover Amanda and Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails. This has just been in the Christian fiction niche for a while, so. When their father's death leaves them impoverished, Sarah Summers convinces her sisters to open their seaside home to guests to provide for their ailing mother. Emily and Georgiana agree, but Viola, who wears a veil to cover a scar, detests the idea. Determined to stay together, the sisters begin the new venture. Instead of the elderly invalids they expected, however, they find themselves hosting eligible gentlemen. Sarah is torn between a growing attraction to a mysterious Scottish widower and duty to her family. Meanwhile, the new situation exposes Viola's scars, both the visible and those hidden deep within, and her cloistered heart will never be the same. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, it didn't sound like something I would be into, but everybody keeps talking about it, so I'll try it. Why not? Then we have The Vanderbeekers Ever After. I heard about this from Krista from Books and Jams. I did not know that the Vanderbeekers had another book out, and apparently it's their last book. So I just got it off my hold list. So yeah, we'll see how I like it. Can't talk about it because it's in a series. Next we have Lizzie and the Lost Baby by Cheryl Blackford. I heard about this one from Mitzi Reads and Writes. So, Lizzie discovers an abandoned... What? When Lizzie discovers an abandoned baby, her dangerous friendship with Elijah is put to the test. I'm so sorry. Lizzie and the Lost Baby. Okay. My screen kept moving. Cheryl Blackford's debut novel is set in England during World War II and told from the dual perspectives of 10-year-old Lizzie, a homesick girl evacuated from bomb-blitzed Hull, to the remote Yorkshire Valley, and Elijah, a local gypsy boy. We're not supposed to say gypsy anymore, but this is an old book, so... Anyway, when Lizzie discovers an abandoned baby, her dangerous friendship with Elijah is put to the test. Will Lizzie be able to find the baby's parents? And if she does, can she and Elijah remain friends in a world clouded by prejudice and fear? Sounds interesting. Next we have Since She's Been Gone by Sajid Schwartz. I heard about this one from Book Talk Etc. podcast. This comes out on February 6th. A clinical psychologist is thrown into her dark past as she races to uncover the truth about her mother's death while struggling with her own mental health. Can we ever truly know the people we love? Losing her mother to a hit and run at age 15 threw Beatrice Beans Bennett's life into turmoil. Bereft, she developed a life-threatening eating disorder and went through a challenging recovery process, which paved the way for her work as a clinical psychologist decades later. When a new patient arrives at her office and insists that Beans' mother is still alive and in danger, Beans is forced to revisit her past in order to uncover the truth. She learns the patient is a member of a notorious family that owns a drug company largely responsible for the national opioid epidemic, and that her mother was once tangled in their web. In a race against time and her mother's assailants, while once again facing the disorder she thought she'd put behind her, Beans discovers that, like herself, her mother had a devastating secret. Interesting. Then we have the books that I bought from the Libro FM sale. We have The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. In 1936, tucked into the woods of Troublesome Creek, Kentucky, lives blue-skinned 19-year-old Cussie Carter, the last living female of the rare blue people ancestry. The lonely young Appalachian woman joins the historical Pack Horse Library Project of Kentucky and becomes a librarian, riding across slippery creek beds and up treacherous mountains on her faithful mule to deliver books and other reading material to the impoverished hill people of eastern Kentucky. Along her dangerous route, Cussie, known to the mountain folks as Blewett, confronts those suspicious of her damselfly blue skin and the government's new book program. She befriends hard Scrabble and complicated fellow Kentuckians and is fiercely determined to bring comfort and joy, instill literacy, and give to those who have nothing, a bookly respite, a fleeting retreat to faraway lands. And then we have The Bookwoman's Daughter, which is the sequel, which I guess is about her daughter. So, there's that. Then we have The Runaway Midwife by Patricia Harmon. I have another series by this author, so this one kind of caught my attention. This one's contemporary. I have the Midwife of Hope River series, which I still have not read. So I don't know why I got another one, but whatever. It was cheap. Midwife Clara Perry is accustomed to comforting her pregnant patients, calming fathers-to-be as they anxiously await the birth of their children, ensuring the babies she delivers come safely into the world. But when Clara's life takes a nosedive, I cannot read today, she realizes she hasn't been tending to her own needs and does something drastic. She runs away and starts over again in a place where no one knows her or the mess she's left behind in West Virginia. Heading to Seagull Island, a tiny remote Canadian island, Clara is ready for anything. Well, almost. She left her passport back home, and the only way she can enter Canada is by hitching a ride on a snowmobile and illegally crossing the border. Deciding to reinvent herself, Clara takes a new identity, Sarah Livingston, a writer seeking solitude. But there's no avoiding the outside world. The residents are friendly and draw Sarah into their lives and confidences. She volunteers at the local medical clinic, using her midwifery skills, and forms a tentative relationship with a local police officer. But what will happen if she lets down her guard and reveals the real reason why she left her old life? One lesson soon becomes clear. No matter how far you run, you can never really hide from your past. I'll say. Then we have The Secret Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams. I heard about this one way back when from Meredith from the Currently Reading podcast, and I don't know. I meant to read it at some point, and then I found a few of them on sale during the Libro FM sale, so yeah. Miracle Springs, North Carolina is a place of healing. Strangers flock here hoping the natural hot springs, 5-star cuisine, and renowned spa can cure their illness. If none of that works, they often find their way to Miracle Books, where over a freshly baked comfort scone from the Gingerbread House Bakery, they exchange their stories with owner Nora Pennington in return for a carefully chosen book. That's Nora's special talent, prescribing the perfect novel to ease a person's deepest pain and lighten their heaviest burden. When a visiting businessman reaches out to Nora for guidance, she knows exactly which novel will help. Before he can keep their appointment at Miracle Books, he's found dead on the train tracks. Stunned, Nora forms the Secret Book and Scone Society, a group of damaged souls yearning to gain trust and earn redemption by helping others. To join the society, members must divulge their darkest secrets, the terrible truths that brought each of them to Miracle Springs in the first place. Determined to uncover the truth behind the businessman's demise, the women meet in Nora's cramped and cozy bookstore to share stories and trade support. And as they untangle a web of corruption, they also discover their own courage, purpose, and a sisterhood that will carry them through every challenge, proving it's never too late to turn the page and start over. Sounds fun. There's a whole series of these books. I think there's 6. I managed to get 3 on sale, and I need some butter. So, yeah. I managed to find 3 of them, but they're not in order, so I may have to get the other ones at full price if I like the series, so. Next we have Little Darling by Melody Golding. I heard about this one through, also through their Currently Reading podcast. I meant to get it at some point, and then it became on sale, so I got it. Quote unquote, Mother knows best. Everyone says Lauren Tranter is exhausted, that she needs rest. And they're right. The newborn twins, Morgan and Riley, she's never been... What? This screen keeps moving. And they're right. With newborn twins, Morgan and Riley, she's never been more tired in her life. But she knows what she saw. That night in her hospital room, a woman tried to take her babies and replace them with her own creatures. Yet when the police arrived, they saw no one. Everyone from her doctors to her husband thinks she's imagining things. A month passes, and one bright summer morning, the babies disappear from Lauren's side in a park. But when they're found, something is different about them. The infants look like Morgan and Riley to everyone else, but to Lauren, something is off. As everyone around her celebrates their return, Lauren begins to scream, "These are not my babies." Determined to bring her true infant sons home, Lauren will risk the unthinkable. But if she's wrong about what she saw, she'll be making the biggest mistake of her life. Wild. Next we have The Other Mothers by Catherine Faulkner. I heard about this one from Chloe from Always Booked. This is coming out on December 5th. Ooh, it just came out. When a young nanny is found dead under mysterious circumstances, new mom Tash is intrigued. She has been searching for a story to launch her career as a freelance journalist, but she has also been searching for something else, new friends to help her navigate motherhood. She sees them at her son's new play group, The Other Mothers, a group of sleek, sophisticated women who live in a neighborhood of tree-lined avenues and stunning houses, the sort of mothers Tash herself would like to be. When the mothers welcome her into their circle, Tash discovers the kind of life she has always dreamed of. Their elegant London townhouses, a far cry from her cramped basement flat and endless bills. She is quickly swept up into their wealthy world via coffees, cocktails, and playdates. But when another young woman is found dead, it's clear there's much more to the community than meets the eye. The more Tash investigates, the more she's led uncomfortably close to the other mothers. Are these women really her friends? Or is there another, more dangerous reason why she has been so quickly accepted into their exclusive world? Who exactly is investigating who? Wild, huh? Next we have The Paris Housekeeper by Renee Ryan. I also heard about this one from Chloe from Always Booked. This is coming out the day after Christmas, December 26th. World War II historical fiction. Paris, 1940. German tanks rumble through the streets of Paris, forcing frightened citizens to flee. But not everyone has the luxury to leave. Camille Lacroix, a chambermaid at the world-famous Hotel Ritz, must stay to support her family back home in Brittany. Desperate to earn money, Camille also acts as a lady's maid for longtime guest Vivian Miller, a glamorous American widow and a Nazi sympathizer. Despite her distrust of the woman, Camille turns to Vivian when her friend and fellow hotel maid Rachel Berman needs help getting out of Paris. It's then that Camille discovers that Vivian is not what she seems. The American has been using her wealth and connections to secretly obtain travel papers for Jewish refugees. While hiding Rachel in an underground bunker under a Nazi's nose, a dark escape plan is hatched. But as the net grows tighter and the Germans more ruthless, Camille's courage will be tested to the extreme. So, yeah. Next we have The Girl Behind the Wall by Mandy Robotham. I read The German Midwife a long time ago, and when Audible had their sale, I kind of decided to see what other books this author had, and this one sounded good. So, The Girl Behind the Wall. A city divided. When the Berlin Wall goes up, Karen is on the wrong side of the city. Overnight, she's trapped under Soviet rule in unforgiving East Berlin and separated from her twin sister Jutta. Two sisters torn apart. Kara and Jutta, Karen, lead parallel lives for years, cut off by the wall. But Karen finds one reason to keep going. Otto, the man who gives her hope, even amidst the brutal East German regime. One impossible choice. When Jutta finds a hidden way through the wall, the twins are reunited. But the Stasi have eyes everywhere, and soon Karen is faced with a terrible decision: to flee to the west and be with her sister, or sacrifice it all to follow her heart. Wild. Wonder what she'll pick. Next is Winterfrost by Michelle Houtz. I already talked about this one in my TBR for December. I also talked about Flight by Lynn Stiegler. And okay, here's one I can talk about. The Year of Goodbyes and Hellos by Kelly Irving. I heard about this one from Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. Two sisters work to heal lingering childhood wounds and seek a new balance in work, family, marriage, and love. When one receives a diagnosis that sets the clock ticking, determined to save Sherry's life, Kristen drops everything to guide her sister on the harrowing cancer treatment journey. When she's unable to balance the strain of caring for her patients, being a wife and mother, and her frantic effort to save her sister, Kristen's carefully balanced life crumbles, starting with her marriage. Desperate to regain her footing, she vows to rebuild her broken relationships as soon as she's sure Sherry will beat the odds stacked against her. Unlike her sister, Sherry Reynolds has worked to cultivate balance in her life. Her children, her job as a teacher, and her strong faith keep her grounded, until her diagnosis sends her spiraling into the scary world of what-ifs and unknown outcomes. Sherry faces the agonizing realization that family history may be about to repeat itself. With the clock ticking, she's determined to use whatever time she has left to heal old wounds and restore relationships. Together, the sisters are forced to re-examine their priorities, address the still tender wounds of their childhood, and delve more deeply to discover what it means to live each day to its fullest. Truly, I have a twisted mind. I don't know why I'm attracted to books about illness and cancer. Yet here we are. And I almost want to read that now, even though it's like Christmas. I should be reading stories about happiness and joy and sugar plums and rainbows. But no. I have a twisted mind. Next we have Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. I've heard about this one, but I never thought about reading it until I saw it on sale. We can't choose what we inherit, but can we choose who we become? In present-day California, Eleanor Bennett's death leaves behind a puzzling inheritance for her 2 children, Byron and Benny. A black cake made from a family recipe with a long history and a voice recording. In her message, Eleanor shares a tumultuous story about a headstrong young swimmer who escapes her island home under suspicion of murder. The heartbreaking tale Eleanor unfolds, the secret she still holds back, and the mystery of a long-lost child challenges everything the siblings thought they knew about their lineage and themselves. Can Byron and Benny reclaim their once close relationship, piece together Eleanor's true history, and fulfill her final request to share the black cake when the time is right? Will their mother's revelations bring them back together or leave them feeling more lost than ever? Family dysfunction. Totally my thing. Anyway, seems that is the last book on my November list. So I'm sure I will have a lot in December with all of the Vlogmas content everybody's putting out. So, yeah, I will see what I give you in December. So, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!
Speech on. Stop recording video.